Hey everybody, Rodamon here. Thanks for tuning in to the Philosopher King, a RimWorld royalty series about being a benevolent ruler in a benevolent society. Society run by these rules and goals, and of course, it is a choose-your-own adventure series, which means that I wouldn't say exactly bi-weekly, but occasionally you get to vote on projects. Originally, I thought that I would have a poll today for this episode, but instead it will be for next week. If you have any ideas for poll items, just drop me a comment below. Here are the current projects I am working on that were voted in weeks previous, and let's pick up where we left off. So I wanted to go over some quick tips at the start. One tip was from Martin, mentioning that I should probably bust out some of the barricades behind these turrets so that I can more easily repair them. And that's a pretty good idea. There's also, of course, a risk that the uranium slug turrets here hit turrets in front of them. But, this is a risk you have to run sometimes. James mentioned that this corner is not like the others. And, yes, you're right. It wasn't. It will be, but it wasn't. So I'll fix that. Some other tips I received. DK mentioned that right before Bubbaloo gives a speech, he could throw on a crown or coronet in order to get or even a top hat, in order to get the bonus for speech. It's called the crown here has a 20% social impact, and then if I made a top hat, the top hat has a 20% as well. So what I'm going to do here is to make a top hat rather than a crown. It's a little bit less ostentatious. Let's make a double strand top hat, and we are going to put a cute little double strand top hat. I guess I'll just keep it right there next to the throne. It's not very symmetrical, but it will benefit us. And that will help. The extra 20% will help Bubbaloo not blunder his speeches, which, uninspire people. It's a little bit of a chance, but it's worth the change. And then the last one is from Lewis. Lewis mentions, wouldn't it make sense for the godswood to have some doors for ease of access/use? Yes. So let me add some doors that match symmetrically. Now the issue here, of course, is there won't be quick opening doors, and then on top of that, they have to be non-flammable. So I'm gonna make them uranium. I don't. No, I have enough plasteel to make them regular plasteel doors. The reason being is I don't want to run power around the godswood. I could run power cables, but then of course powered doors do break down. They do require components for maintenance, so it is kind of annoying. And then these doors are so far from the regular base that if they were to catch fire, they would burn all the way down. So we need some material that is non-flammable. Now, I did receive some comments about trying to beautify the godswood, adding things like flowers and the like. Now, the reason I'm not going to be doing this is I really only have one capable grower. As you can see, Yanshui, Evernath kind of can grow, but not all that efficiently. And if I was to add flowers to the godswood, I would have to essentially ignore my own food and hay, and it would cause starvation. I don't think the godswood beautification project is worth starvation, which is why I'm not going that route. Another tip, or another question I had was, with all of the animal grass I have, could Evernath be given a psychic sensitizer? So here's the issue. Let's say I give her a psychic sensitizer. Right now, she has psychic sensitivity of 0 because she's psychically deaf. A sensitizer would bring her up to 25%. For reference, Bubbaloo has sensitivity of 170% because of all the armor that he has. One of the big things is the Eltec staff. Avernath would never be able to hold an Eltec staff. She's a pacifist. So a huge amount of the sensitivity that someone like Bubbaloo has, Avernath could never have. So the issue is, even if I draped her full of Eltec's stuff, her sensitivity would get up to maybe 50-ish, 60-ish%, which would mean that she would need to meditate a lot longer than Bubbaloo or Talon to be still a very, very crummy Psycaster, which is why it would be better for me to wait for another character to be added or to really never use it at all. Yes, it seems like a waste, but it would be so difficult to make her a capable Psycaster that it is simply not worth it. It's better to just have the pretty grass and treat the pretty grass that we've got as sort of the decoration for the godswood. So we're getting the godswood walls up. And then if we take a look, we've got the hospitality for Bateau Champus, or whatever her name is. We have a Shack of Fortune that I haven't yet gone to, and I don't really plan on it. Tornado generators sound like a good idea, but in reality, they're very inaccurate, and they can cause a considerable collateral damage. Like if I was to use that on, let's say I use it on a mech cluster on my own home tile, that is likely to backfire on me considerably. I'm going to force Mathis to complete some of this work so that I can queue up the proper walls. And then make sure that I've got walls between me and the outside world, which Talon is making sure of now. And now I do believe that we have achieved some symmetry, some semblance of symmetry. Now, of course, for anti-sapper, for the anti-sapper capabilities, I don't, of course, have turrets in the corner pieces here. So what I think I'm going to do is add those in. And then let's put in turrets here, like this. And that gives full coverage for the walls. Now, they're not compartmentalized. So what I could do is add in a wall here to compartmentalize it a little bit more. But I'm going to get the turrets in first. Now, this is a considerable amount of components and steel and all that. So this is another reason to do some deep drill mining. Here is the top hat shelf. Oh, and there was missing power here. Alright, so let's see. Apparel. Noble apparel. Headgear. Wow, you really nest this in. Top hat. Here we are. And I think it's likely... Oh, maybe we haven't made that top hat yet. Nope. Zero has been busy. Stormy out there, isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, taking some fire. So one more thing I plan on adding to the godswood is flagstone pathing around it to allow for quicker movement that really only my own characters can use, because enemies shouldn't be in the godswood if I built and defended it correctly. And this provides a little bit of strategic benefit in case we are trying to run from mechanoids or something like that. We can dash across the godswood and redeploy in positions that they weren't able to reach. Abernath, you better not be putting on that top hat. I suppose pacifist does not allow noble apparel whatsoever. Oh, another thing. Patachumpness, or whatever her name is, was on royal travel. I'll fix that as well. What's funny is royal travel was just royal meals with milk, so it didn't really make that much of a difference, but I figured I'd fix it anyway. Yes, the paths here will have different colors. I don't think that's that much of a problem. There is some mud here that I'm going to have to resolve, unfortunately. Not looking forward to running power around, but, you know, it happens. So this is almost all walled up. There's only a small section that isn't. I'm just going to run power the quick as the crow flies way. Yes, it interrupts the animatry, but we'll resolve it as soon as we can. Alright. Any of the plants that happen to be in the way, we'll cut. Now, with how weird pathing for pawns can be, I'm curious if they ever really use this side path. They may. They may. I suppose, Yanshui, yeah, you could re-sow the double strand. My worry, of course, is that you don't get it to yield anything before the end of the season. Oh, we got an ambrosia sprout. Funny enough, the ambrosia sprout is in the godswood. So I'm going to cancel some of these walls so that we don't kill off the ambrosia. And once the ambrosia dies, because it will only last for a few seasons, then we can plant it back. Because, of course, I used to have ambrosia here, and that's far gone. What about the ambrosia? Oh, yeah, this ambrosia zone's still valid. But ambrosia doesn't last forever. All right. Well, we have a little bit of granite to put in the wall. Oh, Talon just did it. So now at least our defenses are well established. Our wall and perimeter and all that. Now if I was to put a halfway wall, let's see, 38, well, it won't be symmetrical, that's for sure. I'd have to have 2 compartments or so. I'll think about it. I might not compartmentalize the side walls. Adding in additional walls may not really benefit me all that much. And I would need considerably more turrets for the proper cover. A lot of construction projects I have queued right now. I'm going to try to not add anything else in while they work on this. Shrinking my chunk zone. Ooh, that's some worn out clothing here. We got plenty of vegetables. Not a ton of corpses for meat. I could do some hunting. But unless I get a toxic fallout, I shouldn't have a shortage of animals out there. It's going to tell me that Evernath can link to the anima tree. I've already given my reasons why that's pointless. Patochumpness. Oh, you want Acolyte specific apparel. Well, the funny thing about this is I can't change what you're wearing, so I can't satisfy that need. That seems cruel. Like, she was set up never to be satisfied with what she was wearing. Like a sort of gotcha trick. It's like, haha, you know, I will always be dissatisfied, but I refuse to remove my armor. Okay, then. Let's haul this Neutroamine before it rots. The silver, of course, is no risk of rotting, but the Neutroamine, yes. Alright, so the flagstone's almost done. Of course, we're missing a section of this wall, but this is just... they're busy. Looks like I'm going to need some more limestone. Some of this is just because we haven't broken down the monument. But my constructors are already quite busy. Looks to me like I have quite the shortage of steel. So, Zero, you're going to have to remedy this next time you are able. I've got almost 400 plasteel, but no regular steel. I want Zero to be mining where there is roof coverage, because of course standing out in the rain makes people upset. Imperial Trader. Oh, good. I prefer the Imperial Traders over the Royal Gift faction thing, where they're like, we demand you give us slaves or gold. It's like, no. I suppose I could deep drill for a bunch of gold, but it's kind of not worth it. All right, Imperial Trader, what you got for me? You got a bunch of Glitterworld meds and advanced components. I don't know if I need to buy the advanced components, to be honest, so I'm not going to. You have a bunch of steel. I'm going to sell my wood because, of course, I could always replace it pretty easily. They have an L-Tech shirt. Actually, they have a few. I'm going to buy a few. And they do have a sensitizer harmonizer. I'd really like to make more money than this, than spend a ton. So Bubbaloo, where did the shirts drop? There we are. The beauty of the L-Tech shirts, of course, is that you can wear it underneath your armor, and it does give 10 sensitivity. So here's the deal. I want very much to make more money back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bunch of royal robes out of Devil Strand. With Zero. So Zero, I'm going to temporarily put you as tailoring full-time. And while these traders are here, let's see if we can't crank out some royal robes. Alright, so there's the top hat. Top hat will be for Bubbaloo to wear only during speeches. And then can't I haul? That's really strange. When we make the royal robes, just drop it. Someone else will haul it. And this is so that all of the 2,000 silver I spent or whatever can be replaced. And I'm just going to continually have my characters haul new stacks of double strand over so I don't even have to stop. Poppy, you should actually be machining. So, I take that back. Yanshui, can you not haul at all? What is going on here? She's the only one that's like, no, I'm not going to haul for you. Bubbaloo, you do it. Oh, is there not space? Yeah, there is space. Bubbaloo, before these guys leave, let's trade with them. So it seems like with the components in the steel that I was grabbing, yeah, they're making the turrets in the side. Perfect. All right, Faustopia. So, the royal robes here, gonna fetch me some silver. In fact, I'm gonna even sell the double strand hat because I can make a new one. That's really not that much of a problem. And I'm gonna buy another L-Tech shirt because I can make Talon here wear one instead of his Thrumbo shirt. It would reduce his sharp resist a little bit, but he would be stronger for it. Let's haul some of the double strand over and just keep feeding the royal robes queue. Patochumpmus, or whatever her crazy name is, starting to help with that. It is cool that her armor is like double strand colored. Not that I couldn't replicate that. I'd have to buy it. All right, Bubbaloo. Let's get trading again. So all these normal L-Tech shirts will be great. So what I'm going to do is, for Talon, the Psy Brawlers, let's say no longer allowing t-shirts, L-Tex vests, jacket, pants, pants, yes, button-down shirts, just L-Tech shirts, no dusters. And Talon should automatically change as a result. Okay. This is a good bit use of my my double strand, but honestly, because I started changing over to wearing Thrumbo, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, they're leaving, so I have a very limited amount of time. Oh, another Ambrosia Sprout. What is going on? Does Mother Nature know that I was kind to its godswood or something? Alright, so this is called Ambrosia. Where is this zone? Oh my god. Ambrosia 2. I have an Ambrosia 1 that just got tagged, so this will be Ambrosia 3. I'm gonna make sure I don't allow sowing in the other one. It did. Oh boy, that would have been bad. We would have planted. I had a feeling like I forgot that. We would have planted potatoes there. All right, Bubbaloo, you are needed to race over to Nosfo. I might have to have him teleport himself. Alright, so this will be the last royal robe I make. I have to be careful not to skip anyone else but himself. Because if he skips one of these other people here, it would be a bit of a problem. Alright, Nosfo. I'm not going to have time to sell anything else. I'll just finish up this robe for a future trade. Alright, who's Zero? You're starving? Yeah, let me fix that. And then your needs are not met. Oh, you're sick. Well, yeah, I mean, the sickness is pretty well established at this point. Let's go kill you. Alright, so I'm just cutting any stone block at this point. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, that was worth it. For inspired creativity, it made a legendary sniper rifle. Wow. So the real advantage of a legendary sniper rifle, its accuracy at long range, as you can see, is 100%. That doesn't mean you hit every shot. It just means that it's a lot more accurate. Whereas, like, an excellent one... Oh, no. So it's short... Okay, what the difference here? Its short accuracy is a lot higher. A distance at 12 cells is a lot better. Yeah, I'm very pleased by that. That will help take down centipedes. That is an anti-centipede weapon, if I've ever seen one. And a rat self-tamed. Okay, so we've made the top hat. Ooh, got an aurora. A lot of very nice events going on here, which has me extraordinarily worried because I think we all know that back-to-back-to-back nice events lead to something more sinister. At least that's in my experience. Alright. We don't want our animals mucking up the pathing at all, so I've got to paint a lot of these zones. Another thing that I'm going to need to do is to create that moisture pump. Oh, right. Yep. We'll have to bridge that up first. Cutting trees in the godswood. I know how that looks. But they'll grow back. If I was to sow anything in the godswood, it wouldn't be flowers. It would be perhaps chocolate trees or something like that. Something with a very, very long grow time so that it doesn't require a lot of maintenance. So that it doesn't lock up Evernath and Yanshui from their regular duties. So that could be an idea, is to grow chocolate or something like that. Alright, steel was found. I'm going to label it. Now, labeling steel that far from the base, I'm likely never, ever, ever going to mine that steel, if I'm being honest. But what I want to do is I want to label it so that I know that weird chunk that's way out there isn't something more special. There are some mods that allow you to do this, but of course this is a mod-free series, so I'm not using them. But that would probably be one of the only QL mods I'd consider adding in the normal series. Of course, this is a tutorial series, so any mods that change fundamental gameplay mechanics is problematic. Looks like our wall is getting pretty close to being done. A lot of work. But the godswood's looking pretty nice for it. Man, that is a large oval thing. Exotic goods trader passing overhead. Right on. I don't know if I have a lot of exotic goods, but I'm eager, so we'll see. Let's see. Evernath, would you be so kind as to install these beacons? And while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to uninstall the other one. You know what I should do is create a beacon zone. Copy settings, so that when we uninstall this, we don't haul it away. Call it entrance beacon. And I'm uninstalling that entrance beacon so that when we trade, the items go in our stockpile. It's something I always should be doing, but, you know, hadn't. Alright, so what do you guys got? You've got plasteel at a super high price that I cannot exactly afford. Neurotrainer Flashstorm. Gold. Mega Screen TV. I'll buy it. It is gonna bankrupt me, but I'll buy it. That's a piece of entertainment that I simply did not have until now. Put that in here. And Psytrainer Flashstorm, we will have Bubbaloo use. The Flashstorm is a particularly good Psycast against enemy sieges. What it does is it creates a storm in this blue circle where a lot of lightning gets summoned. And it's a very good way to break up an enemy siege that has a lot of flammable shells and the like. Alright, so let's get this moisture pumping done quickly so that we can finish the godswood. And I think I'm actually going to chop down all the mature trees in here. Just because I need more wood anyway. Alright, so Zero's now mining steel for our lack of it. Chris, go back to helping to construct. Alright, there is this rat here. I forgot about you. Well, now that we've traded, might as well install my beacons back to the way they need to be. For Toe Chomp Miss needs more medical attention. Your blood rot should be at basically 0, though. Yep, it is basically 0. I have been taking care of you. Bubbaloo will even wake up in the middle of the night to make sure that you've got the tending that you need. Chris with an inspiration of Shoot Frenzy. Alright, what I'm going to do is temporarily suspend the path so that we can focus on the wall, which is the more important part, I think. My beacons are... This one is not reinstalled. I'll have Zero do that. So the extra steel is going to be used to... Oh, we have most of the turrets already installed. We're missing 2. And then the steel will be used for the moisture pumps. Now, these moisture pumps are temporarily harming the psi-focus strength that Talon can draw from the animatry. But that's something I'm aiming to fix as soon as I can. And quest available. Furious Prisoners. Oh, dear. They are going to send a giant raid. This does give me Resmec Serum or Antigrain Warheads. I'd have to consider this. Yeah, I have a week to consider. Now, the advantage here is that one giant raid, I might just be able to Antigrain Warhead or Doomsday Launch to wipe them out entirely, giving me basically all profit, which would be phenomenal. So I'd honestly consider it. But the first thing I definitely want to make sure to do is to get my... to get all my ducks in a row to make sure that I'm ready for such a raid. Okay, why is this not plugged in? Cord not long enough, maybe? Well, that was good hunting. Let's waste not. Alright, so if it started to rain, I am going to do a little bit of boomalope hunting. Let's get fiery. So Talon, you should be in an Eltec shirt. Yep, you are. And Bubbaloo, you are in one too, but it's about to decay off your body. Got it. Okay, so I think the vast majority of the free chunks that exist in this map, I have now hauled and cut. I don't think that there's a lot of chunks left, which means if I want to continue with limestone, which I don't necessarily need, I have a good amount right now, I would need to consider deep drilling or mining mountains for it. And winter has officially begun. I'm hoping to get the hops harvest before winter goes full out. Sorry, Bubbaloo, I'm gonna have to wake you. He has the worst sleep schedule of all of them. Okay, nope. I am not going to be able... Wow, it got cold real fast. Okay, there's no point in emergency harvest here because... it's all dying off anyway. So I'll change around some of these grow zones for next season. The rain stopped, but we're still hunting boomalope. Guys, put this mega screen TV in. The advantage of this is it's a new novel entertainment type that will allow our guys to, you know, be entertained. Alright, Zero, I need you to make some armchairs, making sure that there's enough room for everyone to watch TV if they want. The godswood walls are done. So I'm going to continue the pathing, and then these are all constructed up. Great. So we break those down and make the godswood efficient to prey at again. Mathis got a shoot frenzy. Talon, you're not supposed to be the one to do that. Let's force Zero to do it. Apparently I need more plain leather. Oh, it's because I haven't butchered the boom loops yet. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll get around to it. Alright, animal hauling. So these are island zones here. Which means that they will cross the way they want to cross to get into the island. So we'll have to make them non-island. There. Oh, but my pets aren't even listening to that, are they? They are now. So if you look at Yasori here, only crosses where I've painted to allow it. Alright, Chris, would you be so kind as to break these down? There we go. I think what I'm going to do is... Let's get rid of Yorkie Zone. Area 1. He immediately goes to sleep. Alright, Chris. I'm going to keep you up for a second. And you go to sleep anyway? Oh, because it's not in your schedule. Yeah, okay. That's my fault. There. I just wanted to get rid of the zone that is messing with the animatry, the cabling. And then I'll put Chris back into our normal schedule. Done. You are back on non-bloodlust and are free to sleep. So now the animatry isn't obstructed at all. We're almost done with the pathing. That was a big project. Monumentally sized, I'd say. Tochupmus. Oh, getting healed by Fastupia. That'll work. Didn't realize Evernath was a constructor. Oh yeah, you're not bad at it either. Another reason to keep her not as a Psycaster. Well, at the very end of this episode, I might have time for a bit of a speech redemption. For Bubbaloo to redeem himself as the terrible orator that he was originally. Because that was pretty miserable. That last speech was pretty bad. Alright, deep drill exhausted. That can be fixed. Just need to plug this in and figure out where their steel nodes at. Alright, King Bob, are you going to have time? Nah, maybe the speech will be kicked off at the start of next episode. That seems more likely at this point. So, Godswood, you are 99% complete. I think I'm going to wait to see this through. This is pretty cool. not built anything quite like this before. A strange mega project, to be sure. There's the last of the pathing. I might not even have enough tiles. The thing is, I do have a giant monument to break down in the south. So Godswood has one. Okay, here we go. No, Mathis, you could do it. You could do it. I'd like to be able to mentally check this off my list. There we go. Iteration 1 of Godswood complete. This doesn't necessarily mean that this is all it will ever be, but for now, this is what it will be. I'm going to get rid of the blocks zone. Put sandstone back in here instead, which is a raw resource of stone blocks. And that about wraps it up. Man, that was a very peaceful episode. Very productive as well. We've got, just to recap, we've got all of the side, as you can see, it all overlaps, all of the side anti-sapper. Now, the only problem with this, of course, is twofold. One, if you have anti-sapper defenses everywhere, you essentially don't allow sappers anywhere. So I have to create an artificial... I have to basically redesign this section here to allow or encourage sappers to enter that way. That's something I'll do sometime in the future. I'm not that worried about sappers at this moment. Of course, we have the pending quest of Furious Prisoners, which is a one heck of a reward if we are to accept it. So if you think I should, let me know. Also, a little reminder that it is a choose-your-own-adventure series, which means that if you have ideas for the polls, just drop them in the comments here. And if you are a patron of mine, drop them on Discord. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you all next episode. I appreciate you tuning in. Adios.